White supremacy hasn't been this prevalent in America since the transatlantic slave trade days. No matter how many studies, factual data, polls, articles, and Uncle Toms appear that are fighting to change a narrative, we, as in minorities, need to feel unsafe and marginalized. Otherwise, we would have to eliminate our cognitive dissonance. Even if our surroundings tell us otherwise, that America is less racist than the cotton picking, sit in the back of the bus, blackface, redlining, kill you because you're black Thursdays, and Friday night lynching days are over, they are not. And all you need to do is listen to our great Führer himself.
As the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
That's right, white supremacy is this country's biggest threat. Not terrorist organizations from countries that we have helped destroy, not nuclear weapons, not the global economic system, cyber attacks that could cripple our everyday life, not the Russian Communist Party or the CCP, and not even global warming. No, 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 sir. I mean, ma'am, I mean, she, they, them. You know what I mean. Just don't cancel me. It's white supremacy that everyone should be worried about, even the ones that dress in blackface.
Man, no white person come down Sherman. He white. Beat this shit, bitch. They beating up every white person.
We have almost come so close to eradicating racism in America, and the only way to push us over the finish line isn't by having a conversation and fundamentally changing white supremacist minds like Daryl Davis has been doing his entire life.
You go around converting people that are in the KKK.
Well, I'll go around meeting them and set an example, and they end up converting themselves. Some of them do.
How many members of the KKK have you stopped being members?
I would say maybe directly between 40 and 60 people. Indirectly over 200.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't work because it requires effort and time, and it's slow. The only way to make this work is by combating racism with racism.
We have to make bunny hopping a federal offense. I want to introduce the anti-snow bunny hopping bill into Congress. No Negro is allowed to date, live with, sleep with, reproduce, cohabitate, engage, or marry with a non-African woman.
While we try and walk this thin red line of what is considered racist and what is not, we have established some groundbreaking research studies in the wokenomics that have been well analyzed and received, such as Waking Up Early, which has been linked and rooted in white supremacy, according to journalist Anthony Bernardi from media.com. Sorry, I shouldn't assume that he is a biological male, so let's just go with they. They have written several thought-provoking, groundbreaking stories, such as, yes, there's an overwhelming evidence that gender-affirming care improves mental health, or the racist legacy of American suburbia, or the very important story of why SpongeBob is sexist. I wonder how many sponges SpongeBob squished until they squirted. This journalist is just one in over a dozen of social justice writers that have written great evoking stories on how America has adapted white supremacy in everyday life. Even the National Museum of African American History and Culture laid out the troubles of whiteness, such as a nuclear family, being on time. Hard work is key to success. Cause and effect. Men's attractiveness is based on economic status and power and intelligence. Trying to be number one is a white supremacy thing. Protection of property, Christian values, and the list goes on. All of these things are bases of white supremacy, not the fundamentals of being a decent, valuable human being. And if you strive to have any of these terrible qualities I just mentioned, you are a sellout.
I mean, you're cool and all, but Carlton, well, he's not exactly our type.
So if you're black in America and you want to remain authentically black, you need to be late, lazy, have a victim mentality, be poor, and of course uneducated. Otherwise, you're choosing whiteness. So dear black people, choose this lifestyle instead.
First met Angel, she was living in a one-bedroom motel.
And have zero accountability.
Somebody needs to be held accountable. And they need to pay.
That way we can all fit into the stereotypes so people can make comments like this.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and and clean and a nice-looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
We have consistently chosen ignorance instead of living the life that this little unknown African-American pastor from the South sought for us to live. And that pastor once said, "We may all have come on different ships, but we are in the same boat now." But in 2023, somehow the words of some of the greatest civil rights leaders have fallen to the wayside for a group of white, liberal, board-educated, privileged women who have convinced themselves, as well as these beta males, that being white is toxic.
It's not okay to be white. What can you do to change that?
Fund the United Negro College Fund. Leave your inheritance to African American people.
Is it okay to be prejudiced towards white people then? Sure. Is it okay to have prejudice towards black people?
I mean, it's not okay.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility. Black people are being slaughtered in the streets, killed in their own homes.
But here we are struggling with the definition of white supremacy in this snowflake world where words and opinions are now considered violence according to many social justice warriors. Again, warrior is not really what they are. They are missing the fundamental traits of what a real warrior is. But don't worry and don't fear, because we are making a true change here in America by allowing our voices to be heard or seen. Because that's all we care about. We want to be heard and seen as we bitch and bitch and bitch without providing any solutions. Because remember, having a solution is part of white supremacy.
That's right. That is right.
So if you enjoy this type of facetious humor, click right here and watch another short video. Or if you enjoy more long format content, click right here and enjoy the long drawn out conversation without any jokes. But regardless, make sure you subscribe. And I will leave you with this. If you want more unity, we must prioritize accountability.